I'm Janice Jensen, and I live in Castell, Texas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Herstory TV and the Herstory podcast. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand, and I'm graced with the presence of yet another amazing, creative, phenomenal woman coming to us all the way from the US. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe.
Thank you.
Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Gertrude, for having me. I'm Janice Jensen, and I live in Castell, Texas. Castell, Texas is a town of 7 people, and I live 5 miles south of there on a ranch. So I'm very remote, but I'm close to San Antonio, Texas, and Austin, Texas. They're both about 2 hours away, and I'm very blessed to live out here. I am 61.8 years old and very proud of that. I don't really say old, I say young. And my mission is to get people moving, and it seems as though once we reach our 50s and 60s, 70s and 80s, a lot more people become stagnant. I've been blessed to be an athlete because when my life was growing up, it was very dysfunctional is a good way to put it. And instead of going into drugs and things in the 60s and 70s, I focused on athletics, and I got into roller skating. I actually got 4th in the nation in roller skating in 1975, which then I just really learned dedication and commitment. And then that takes me way to the future of after I raised my 2 daughters, I went over to Abu Dhabi and I started to teach over there. I'm technically a retired school teacher. Yeah. In Abu Dhabi, they had roller derby. And I thought, oh, I can't do roller derby. That's like, that's not artistic skating and jumps and spins and stuff. I was like scoffed at it. And after a while, I was getting bored in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, okay, I'll go do roller derby. And it was kind of fun. There's a lot of strategy to it and everything. And anyway, one particular day, I fell on my bum so bad. Like I couldn't get up. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. And it was really hard. Because I've been athletic all my life, and this was in my 50s. And when I turned 50, I was doing side push-ups, doing Julia Michaels workout and everything. And I was quite devastated by that. And when they did all the tests and everything, my left leg had nerve damage and wasn't going to work. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work for me. And so through a lot of therapy, my leg does work. It's more flexible than the other leg because the nerves aren't really there. So it's kind of fun that my leg can go way up here. But then I learned that if I do not keep moving, then I atrophy. And so many of us, as we age, we start to have less movement. And the more you move, you can keep your cells rejuvenated. You can keep going through the process of just the way you think and move and how you're feeding your brain and your body. And so from that, I got into meditation over in Abu Dhabi. I'm a certified meditation instructor. From that, I learned more about yoga. I'm now 500 hours experienced yoga teacher. I used to go over to Rishikesh, India. I work with ladies over there that are artisans that make cool things kind of like yours and sell them to help the ladies over there. And we also help feed the people in Rishikesh right now. And then I got into Kundalini yoga, which was really quite interesting, which took me into more breathing and meditative things and things with a lot of the anatomy, the Eastern science of anatomy that is so different than the Western science. And we blend those two together. And then I really wanted to help people move, but they were like, oh, I can't do yoga. And I was too advanced for them. And so over the last few years, I've learned how to put just the movement therapy back from the traumatic accident and painting. Painting is so therapeutic. And these people paint. Like I guide the people through some basic movement. Normally with your eyes are closed and we move. And then they paint what they're feeling inside. And then they move and then they paint. And the best is a lady that was 80 years old. I was over in Vegas in February. She's she's on oxygen and she's doing this chair yoga basically and painting. And she said her testimony was she loved her life again because she started to move. And it was like, so I go to nursing homes and I just go wherever I can. And now I've made a course where other people can get certified to become a movement therapy with painting teacher and just make it, it's just so simplistic. And then I go on to, I'm also a life coach because it's an inward journey. All of the things are inside of us, all of our trauma from 0 to 6, all that stuff. And so it's a really, really nice, unobtrusive way to begin your inward journey if they so decide, or they can just have a beautiful painting and do a little moving.
What an incredible story. Wow. And it sounds to me like you have found your vocation, your reason for being on this planet. You started off with movement and you're ending the later part of your life with movement. And for a lot of women, you're right, after a certain age, we become very, very still. You know, I started doing ballroom dancing. My second husband bought me an electric bike. So I'm now a biker and stuff I would never have ever done before. Yeah. And it's really helping in terms of my congestive heart failure and all the other health issues I've had. I've lost tons of weight. So if you were to go back to the younger you, that young woman who was going around the world doing what you do, based on everything that life has taught you, what 3 nuggets of wisdom would you give her on how you have lived your life up to this point?
What 3 nuggets of wisdom would I give her to maybe do it differently?
Whatever information you would have wanted somebody to have told you about life. What are the things you've learned the most?
The thing that stuck with me since I was young is my mother said, I can't, never did anything. And so I was raised with, you can do whatever you want to do. Yes. And to me, she never planned to ever work. And my dad left my mom when I was basically born. And she was like, wrote her cousin a letter. What is work? How do I work? This was in 1960. And she became an intern for President Carter years later. She figured out work. So my biggest nugget that I've learned is I can't, never did anything. And that always resonates with me. Mm-hmm. And then I also work with Les Brown. I'm learning how to be a public speaker. Nice. And he said, who was a person that influenced me when I was young? And besides my mother, my grandfather. And then what 5 main points? Yeah. My grandfather ran a bank in San Antonio. They did loans on a handshake. And that's what made me realize I am a very literal person. I take people for their word. Whatever you tell me is what is going to happen. And unfortunately, many, many people don't follow that these days. And I continue to get hurt over time. But integrity and values to always keep those, have those. That would be the second nugget. And the third nugget is don't drink so much alcohol and quit drinking. I believe I drank too much throughout my life. I don't drink anymore. I think a lot of people don't realize when they do things to their beautiful brain, that awesome computer that we have to relax, they could really do it so many other ways that don't affect that massive miracle computer.
Yeah. Wow. Well, those are some good nuggets right there. That's just amazing. And now you have this new program. You want to take it global. Tell us, how can people get involved? What does the program entail? Give us more information about what you've set up right now.
What I've set up is just a course on Teachable. That's the education platform that I choose to use. And I also do coaching and other things on Teachable. But what I would like to do for people, especially the people that are coaches, is to take the movement therapy with painting course. And what is in there is I teach the inner workings of how to guide the people to go within. what type of movements we do, what brings things out, how you say the different words when you're working with them through the therapy to draw out those true, textures and colors, making sure they just don't sit down and paint a picture of a flower or something. It's got to be, so the course is designed for people that want to teach this and use it in their tools to help their people go within. And it can be found on janicejensen.com. And I have not conquered the internet as far as like how to mass get things out.
Okay.
I am on Instagram and all that other stuff. You could contact me there.
Well, I'll definitely put all of your contact details. I would love to see this coming to this part of the world. It's inspiring because, right now, a lot of people are looking for tools on how to work with family members, the world being where it is right now. We're having to cope wherever we are. And I'm really glad that it's an online course and people can get access to you as well.
Yes. The pandemic, the COVID really helped me. In 2019, I went over to Rishikesh again to learn the Kundalini yoga. And that was October. Well, I was there from August to pretty much all of 2019, the rest of it. And I taught. And anyway, when COVID happened by February, I was going into Austin and we had big events and big things going on with the painting. And then everything stopped. And then our small group started to just practice, early morning practice online. And it got me familiar with Zoom and it got me familiar with being online because no one was coming out to the ranch anymore to work with me because of COVID. So I have been able to go virtual, and through you, God willing, the word will get out to go even further. Through other connections that I've made, I was asked to do different fundraisers. One was also in February on a yoga studio in Africa. And the people, all they had to do was just go get paints and they could paint on a piece of paper. So it's not complicated at all. The people that are on the other end of the Zoom, you just have to be ready with a piece of paper and some Dollar General paints. And it's very simplistic.
Oh, that is awesome. That is very, very inspiring. So if we were to say that time is an illusion, your past, your present, your future exist in the same timeline. So I've just taken you to the past. Let's now take you into the future. The 100-year-old you sitting in your rocking chair there in Texas, maybe watching over your little grandchildren or great-grandchildren or your dogs or your cats or your horses, whatever it is. And you could have a conversation with the older you based on how you have lived your life. What would you say to her?
We did it.
I love that.
We really did help millions of people.
Oh, I love that.
We really,
that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all about how we can impact on others before we exit this life.
Yes. To serve others.
That's part of what I'm trying to do with the Herstory Circle.
Yes.
Is to wake up as many women that we can make a difference wherever we are. Mm-hmm. And it starts at home with your husband, your wife, your children, your immediate family. Then it's the people in your neighborhood. You know if your next door neighbor is okay or the guy down the street. And then like you, if you can do something somewhere else in the world where you have a passion, let's make a difference and let's build these bridges between women in the developed world and women in the developing countries so we can help pull our sisters up. I really love what you're doing with the craft. Some of my jewelry pieces, one necklace can feed a family of 5 for a month, just one piece.
Yes, I don't think you said I got this one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's from Africa, and I bought it from some ladies like at the World Methodist Conference in Houston in 2016.
Oh, I love that.
Wonderful ladies.
Yeah. And that's where we start having impact. Mm-hmm. That's where we start really having a difference in life. So I have to thank you for this interview. I thank you for hearing my call for women's stories. You are on an interesting path and a very well-needed path right now. And I want to be part of your journey. I hope you will be part of ours. We're going to invite you to speak at our events. And we are taking this whole thing global. So to anybody who's watching right now, please go onto our website, theherstorycircle.com. We're still looking for speakers for our May online summit, 14th to the 23rd of May. And I will give you more information about this after we've finished. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Be back again tomorrow when I come back with another amazing guest coming from a different part of the world. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody.